Good morning, student. As we know that in the first part of the control and coordination, we have studied about the stimuli, control and coordination, coordination in animals, components of nervous system, human nervous system, nerve cell, structure of a neuron, brain, the structure of the brain, and the different components of brain and their function. So in the second part of the control and coordination, we are going to learn spinal cord, reflex action, reflex arc, and mechanism of reflex action as well as reflex arc, and peripheral nervous system, and lastly the autonomic nervous system. So let's begin with the spinal cord. Spinal cord starts from the brain and extends through the vertebral column. It has 31 pairs of spinal nerves. It carries message from brain to the spinal. It also controls the reflex action. As we know that spinal cord is a long and cylindrical structure that passes through the vertebral column. It is the extension of medulla oblongata into the trunk region. Spinal cord is also surrounded by meninges. See, in the first part of the topic, I have told you that brain is covered by the three layers: the outer durameter, the inner pyometer, and the middle arachnoid. Collectively, we call it as a meninges. So here also we can see that a spinal cord is also surrounded by meninges. It is made up of a large number of nerve cells and a nerve fiber. It has a gray matter in the center surrounded by white matter. Spinal cord give rise to 31 pairs of spinal nerves which branch out to reach many organs in the trunk region like heart, lungs, stomach, urinary bladder, and sex gland. These spinal nerves are made up of both sensory and motor nerve fiber. Spinal cord is concerned with the coordination of movements of limbs and organs in the body by reflex action. It is the center of reflex action. Then, what is a reflex action? Reflex action is a sudden, unconscious, and voluntary response of the effector to a stimulus. Example, we suddenly withdraw our hand if we suddenly touch a hot object. Or in other terms, we can say that reflex action is an automatic response to an external stimulus. Spinal cord is the center of such reflex action, and these are independent of the brain. For example, when we step on a throne unknowingly, immediately we take away our leg. Or when we touch a hot object, we withdraw our hand. So in this reflex action, the nerve in the skins, that is receptors, detect the heat and passes the message through the sensory nerve to the spinal cord. Then the information passes through the motor nerve to the muscles, that is effectors of the hand, and we withdraw our hand, which we can see in this picture also. See, in this picture there is a heat is going to be received by the sensory neuron. They will send it to the motor neurons, and motor neurons will send it to the muscles. Not only that, see, we have a different kinds of a stimulus. So here we are given an example in this diagram as a heat. In another diagram we can see that when a pin will be pierced to our skin, suddenly the information will be carried by the receptor to the sensory neuron, and the sensory neuron will send it to the associative neuron, and the associative neuron send back it to the motor neuron, and motor neurons to the effectors. And when the effectors, it may be a muscles or the glands, when they receive, suddenly they will respond. So this is a mechanism we can see in these two diagrams. Not only this, in the further, there is another diagram is there in which also we can see that there is a hammer is there. Hammer means it's not a big hammer, it's a small hammer where the person is beating onto the knee part of the portion, and suddenly when the knee was then he will respond to the situation. So in all the three situations, we can see that if an external stimuli will be applied to a body, suddenly it will show certain response. So unknowingly, when we touch a hot pan or a hot iron box, how do you respond? You will scream and withdraw your hands immediately. It is a voluntary or involuntary response. Why is the time taken for showing the response is very less? This kind of sudden and involuntary response is called reflex action. The whole process is under the control of spinal cord. See, as we know that we have given many examples, can I ask in a question? Try to track the pathway of the transmission of the stimulus and response impulses and try to identify the receptors, conductor in different types of nerves and effectors. The example which you have learnt above. Okay, let's move to the another concept, the reflex arc. The pathway of the nerve impulses involved in the reflex action is called reflex arc. The pathway of the nerve impulses involved in reflex action is called reflex arc. Or in other terms, we can say this pathway of nerve impulses involved in the reflex action is called the reflex arc. And this involves conduction of impulses from receptor to the spinal cord and then to the effectors. Or the pathway of a reflex action is called reflex arc. In a reflex arc, the stimulus is received by the receptors, that is the sense organs, and it passes through the sensory nerves to the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, the information passes through the motor nerves to the effectors, where the muscles are gland for the response. So here there is a schematic representation as given, in which we can see that there is a stimulus is there. It will be taken by receptors, that is the sense organs, and this will pass on a message to the sensory nerves. Sensory nerves will pass it to the spinal cord. Spinal cord will send the information to motor nerves, and motor nerves send it to the effectors, where we include the muscles or the glands, and then it will suddenly respond to the situation. So these are the 5 basic distinct parts of a reflex action or a reflex arc mechanisms are there. So let's in detail we discussed about one by one this. First, a receptor, that is sense organs, receive the stimulus or the stimuli. Second, a sensory neuron. Sensory neurons means we can add afferent neuron that conducts the stimulus impulses from the receptor to the spinal cord. And third, an associative neurons which transmit the impulses from sensory neuron to motor neuron. And the fourth, a motor neuron through which the impulses passes to the effector. And remember here, motor neuron is called as afferent neuron. Lastly, an effector where the action takes place responds to the stimulus or a sudden response. So in this diagram, we can see the mechanism, how it takes place by the 5 different stages. First, the pathway in which the stimuli will be received, and the stimuli will be received by the receptors, that is the sense organs. They will send the information to the sensory neurons. The sensory neurons carries the information and send it to the spinal cord or the hindbrain. Then the information will reaches to the association neurons. The associative neurons will send it to the motor neuron, and the motor neuron will send the information to the effectors. And in the effectors, like muscles and gland, they send it to the response. Means the effectors, when the action takes place, suddenly the person will respond to the situation. So in this diagram, they have shown there are afferent and efferent fibers often passes in the same nerves. Means they are opposite to each other. Now let's come to the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is also called as, in short, PNS. Now peripheral nervous system includes 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 30 pairs of spinal nerves. Cranial nerves take their origin from different parts of the brain and are connected mainly to the sense organs, muscles, and glands of the head. Some of the cranial nerves are sensory, some are motor, and few are mixed nerves. One of the most important cranial nerve, the vagus, it is also called as wandering nerve, forms part of the autonomic nervous system and gives out branches to the heart, the lungs, and digestive organs. Spinal nerve take their origin from spinal cord. All of them are mixed nerves having both sensory and motor fibers. The sensory fibers originate from the dorsal horn of the spinal cord. These carry information from organ to the spinal cord. The motor fibers take their origin from the ventral horn of the spinal cord. These supply information required for the movement of the muscles. Now lastly, we come across with autonomic nervous system. As we know that certain organs which are not working as per our will, they are functioning on their own. These organs are the involuntary organs, but their functioning must be under the control of some nerve. These involuntary organs are connected and controlled by set of peripheral nerves. This is called autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system consists of special set of peripheral nerves that supply nerves to organs such as heart, lungs, digestive tract, and other internal organs. It regulates a variety of functions which are not under the control of the will. It consists of two parts, the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system, with opposite action. For example, the sympathetic system stimulates the pupil in the eye to dilate, whereas the parasympathetic system causes it to constrict. So these are the examples in the autonomic nervous system. So today we have learned in the second part of the topic spinal cord, reflex action, reflex arc, and the mechanism of reflex action and the reflex arc, peripheral nervous system, as well as the autonomic nervous system. In the last video, we are going to continue the remaining part of this topic. Thank you and have a nice day.